In this video today, I'm going to be showing you some advanced features for Google Forms. I came upon these features randomly. I was trying to create a Thanksgiving digital escape room, and I used Google Sites here, so I had made my little escape room, and I wanted to put the form here. And in the form, I wanted to make sure that the students would have to answer every question. I wanted to make sure that they'd have to answer every question correctly, and that they would not be able to submit their form without answering the questions correctly. So let's say here, as an example, I'll show you how we did this in a second, but they needed to put in a date here. And so if I put in a date, a 4-number date that is not correct, and then I click to go to the next question, it tells me try again. So then if I come in and put in the correct number it's supposed to be, it then is no longer red and it gives a brown line here, and that indicates that it is correct. And I can go to the next question here and I can answer the question. So I'm just going to put in some gibberish here and put in the correct answer here. So you'll see here it says try again. Here, if I put in the correct answer, then it will say it's correct. And then I can put in the wrong answer here again. Now what's going to happen is it's going to tell me try again. And so I know that these two are wrong still. And when I try to submit, it's going to come back here and put the cursor here flashing saying try again. So it's not going to let the student submit until they've gotten it correct. So those are the different features I want to show you about how you can make this work for you. And some different scenarios I could see you using this is if you were wanting to do a review with the students and you want to make sure they got the correct answer, you could use this format. Or if you were having them do math problems and you wanted them to type in the answer and you didn't want to lead them to the answer or give them multiple choice, but you wanted to only allow them to answer one way, you can do that here. So I have a Google Forms Advanced Features form that I started. It's a quiz. So the couple things you want to make sure you have it as a quiz. So if you go to settings, up here on the top right, there's general presentation quizzes, and you'll want to make sure you have this selected to make as a quiz. The next important thing you want to do is when you're creating all of your questions, you're going to want to make sure that you have the question marked as required. So if it's not marked as required, then the student would be able to submit the form without answering that question. The next thing too is once you have your questions, you'll want to make sure you go to the answer key and put in the correct answer. So I've put in the correct answer here. This was one that's a short answer, and so I only want them to be able to put in one answer, and I want that answer to be 95. And then I've marked to make all other answers incorrect. But this doesn't give them the try again message. I'll show you where you get that. So I've put in my problem. I've gone in here and put in my answer key. And over here to the right, next to required, on the bottom right of the question, there's the 3 dots. And if you click here, it gives you some different options. It gives you description and response validation. So if I click description, it's going to give me the option here to type something. So I could say, make sure you use your FOIL strategy. And then that can be some instructions or a description here for this question for the students to be able to answer. You can also click on the 3 dots and do response validation. And so what that's going to do is that's now going to give me the programming that I'll need to tell the student try again. So for this one here, I'm going to say, I want any number that is equal to 95 to be correct. Otherwise, I want to say try again, and you can go on to your next question. So you type in the message here, and then that's done. So then here I did another question where I put in, what is the definition of biology? And then I gave different definitions. So when you have a multiple choice, a checkbox, or a drop down, you don't have the option for the response validation. However, you do have some other options. So if you click on the 3 dots here, you can see you can also put in a description that pops up here that you can populate. And if you want to turn that off, you'll see it's checked. You just re-click it, it takes it away, and it's no longer there. You can also go to a section based on an answer. And so what that does, if the student selects this answer here, you can have it go to another section, or you can have it submit the form. So if you're wanting to do a test to see where the students are, like a benchmark, and they're going along well enough and you want them to go to a harder section, then you can have them move to that separate section. You can have it submit the form. Or if they're not able to answer those questions or they pick a wrong answer, you can have it go back to an easier section possibly. So it gives you a lot of options here with this go-to section. You can click on the three dots here and you can toggle these on and off as necessary. And then it also gives you the option here to shuffle option order. So then the students would get their options in a different order for each form. So that, again, these are some really neat features that I was excited to find for you to do. That if you were doing text here, let's say your answer was words, you can do text and you can say contains, doesn't contain, you can say email address, you'd put in the text that would be correct. And then if they don't put in this specific text, what do you want it to say? And that gives them that error message. And you can see here that's for short answer and paragraph. So some really cool features. I think they could be super useful in a lot of ways. I would love to work on creating them, or if you have questions, definitely let me know. Have a great day.